I love that Zoom now says, like, do you understand you're being recorded? Like, it makes me wonder, like, what happened in Zoom world that now has to be a thing that you say, yes, I understand, I got it, right? Well, hi, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am thrilled to be on Melody's stage again and support her in any way I can. For those of you who don't know, my name is Katie Nelson, and I am the CEO of a company called Sales Uprising, and I am a sales and business coach for small business owners. I first met Melody, we're going to say 5 years ago. That means it could be 4 or it could be 6, just so that you guys understand how math in my brain works now. I did meet her when Net 2.0 was a baby, and I'm thrilled at the success that she's had. I have absolutely adored watching everything grow for her. And so when I had been introduced to the opportunity to have a tool that was going to help me keep a balanced life, she was actually one of the first people that I called, because we've had lots of conversations about that. As business owners, as women who run multiple parts of our households, spinning plates is a lot. And so we're always, we journal and we calendar and we do all of these things. There are those of us who have Fitbits and then put all of that information into things. And for me, when I was looking for a balanced life, I didn't get into any of it. I'm uber old school. I have my calendar and I have a journal, and that was it. I refused to do something that counted my steps and maybe paid attention to how I slept. It just all seemed so complicated, and none of it ever talked to itself, right? Like, I need an integrated solution. I need it all under one roof. And so when ULA was first presented to me, I was like, this can't be real. Like, truly, who thought of this? This is amazing. I would cry if this was a real thing. And so when I found out about the 7 Fs, it absolutely is a real thing. There is one place to have your whole life be a priority as is appropriate for you. And so I'm really excited that Melody had me on here to come talk to you guys about it. And we want you guys to ask questions. Feel free to interrupt us. We won't get lost in the deck or anything like that. There'll also be Q&A at the end if you have any more questions. Mel, did you need anything else from me, or you want to go ahead and pull up what's going on?
No, I think we are just, I know that I'm super excited to also share the stage with you again. Like, this is incredible because you are one of my favorite people. I actually have a lot of favorite people, so don't take offense, but I mean, I have a big network, so I got there's a lot of favorite.
Okay, so I'm not supposed to take offense because I'm not the favorite person. I'm just a favorite person. I got you.
Listen, I love people, and my parents used to lose me in crowds because I would talk to anybody. So I love people. So that's how I roll. But Net 2.0 has been great to me, and I just wanted to say that when Katie reached out, this is fantastic, you guys, and I'm excited to talk about F-bombs today. Yes, I just said it. We're talking about F-bombs, and I really, really, really want you to get out your piece of paper and get out notes, because that's what we do. Right, as we want to look at Jill's like, I got my pen, girl. Yes, so that is the key, because you're going to get some nuggets today. Whether or not you decide to join us in this crazy ride, you're going to get nuggets, and that's the most important part. So always go to a meeting, always have your pen, always have your notebook, and be ready to receive some nuggets of info that will change the trajectory of your life and your business. So that is my humble opinion. And I am super excited for this. And if you have something to say, this is an open forum. Like, I want to hear from you guys. Like, I want to hear comments. I want to be like, yeah, yes, girl. Or I want to say, I want you to be like, oh, this happened to me. Like, this is going to be more of an open thing. So we are going to start with 7 F-bombs. Yes, we are. That is 7. I'm going to let her take it away, but I like to call them that because that's what I do. So Katie, it's all you, girl.
It's so funny. So I think that the title of this event is called 7 Moves to Accelerate Your Success. So I want to set the premise for what that means, okay? In ULA, there are 7 Fs, and it's F words that actually encompass the entirety of your life. So when we're talking about balance, balance is a great way to accelerate. It's actually really hard to get off the starting line of a race if you are unbalanced, if you can think about it that way. So the first F that we're going to talk about today is one of my favorite. It's called Field. So this is your career. This is your field of work. This is what you choose to do with your life. Now, for those of us that are business owners, this is something that we pay a lot of attention to, right? We set goals every year, revenue goals, staffing goals, systems goals, whatever those may be. Field helps us focus on the biggest of them all. Okay, so what ULA does is have us absolutely identify 3 huge goals for any particular F. And so for Field, maybe it's, I want to get to 2 years in business. I just started, I want to get to 2 years in business. For me, my goal this year is to hit 500K in revenue. In my 5th year of business, that's what I'm looking to do. And so Field, and it could be anything. If you're a teacher, like my sister's a teacher, she has field goals for herself, like getting different certifications, big goals that help her move her career forward in her industry. Those are going to be what her field goals look like. Also works for students. If school happens to be your field at the moment, this is a great one for students.
Yes, awesome. And like what, she was saying, your field could be anything. And there's those big goals, but there's also those little daily activity goals, right? Like what is it that is in your field that you're gonna strive for? So my F-bomb right now is gonna be faith. Yes, I just said F-bomb and faith in the same sentence. So faith could be anything that means to you. Ryan, I just saw your face. So faith could be a belief in God. It could be a faith in what's to come. It doesn't have to be like this religious faith, but it has to deal with what's going to feed your soul, right? Like what is feeding your joy? Okay, maybe is a better way of saying that as well. So your faith is supremely important to be in balance for your life. So for me, one of the things that quite honestly, that I had dropped the ball on a lot was my faith, because I used to pre-child have my quiet time, right? And every day I'd open up my Bible, or I'd journal, or I'd do my gratitude, or whatever it was, but I would start my day with complete quiet time so that it was me. It was me time. It was my mental health time. It was all of that, right? And when I started this program, I was like, I'm getting that back, because that was definitely something that was needed back into my life. And so every day I start with I have a daily Bible thing that I do. I also have a journal. I answer the questions in my journal and not in the book, because I want the freedom to write more. Like, what are my intentions for the day? Y'all know intentions is one of my favorite words, right? What is my intentions for the day? Like 3 great intentions. Like, what do I want to get accomplished today? Right. And then I also have a spot, which is at the very end of my journal, of what I'm grateful for today. Because on those days, yes, girls, they do happen. On those days that you're not feeling it, I can go back in my journal 2 weeks and every day have something great that I was grateful for, that I can remind myself, right? And so having that time in the morning or at night or at lunchtime, like wherever you can fit that in, to me, it's best in the morning, because it grounds me for the day and it sets my mood for the day. And it frees me, like my soul just feels like gratified, and then I'm able to really dive into some things that are maybe a little troubling for the day, because we all have those things, right? I can step through fear, right? Not into it, but through it. And so your faith is going to be really important. So figure out, like, what does that mean to you? What is your faith? And some of us, just maybe that's the goal, is to figure out what that really even means for us. So that is my awesome testimony as far as what I've been able to do in the last few months.
I love that faith is a part of this, you guys. I'll be very clear, regardless of your religion, I had never heard outside of our churches, synagogues, right, mosques, like wherever nature, wherever it is that we go to connect with our supreme being. I had never heard of having a faith goal just in our regular life, and actually having a big faith goal that we have, where we have daily activities that we choose to do every day to get to this goal, was amazing to me. And it's actually one of the reasons why I knew that this tool was for me, because it really did encompass all of the things, right? So the next one that we're going to talk about is maybe my second or first. They're all my favorites. I'm going to say they're all my favorites, kind of like with Mel and all of her favorite people. All of the F's are my favorite, except for one, and we'll talk about that last. But so finances. I don't know how many of you have ever considered living a debt-free life. Let's be clear. I've considered it. Sure, like I love it, right? Like it'd be amazing. Like that sounds awesome. Sure. Do I work towards that? Like, meh. However, because it gets to be in front of me every day while I'm spinning all of my 7Fs and I'm touching base with them, it's actually possible to do that. And that's really exciting. And I will tell you, that's something that can get me out of bed all day, every day. Just because of the freedom, which is the 8th F that they actually don't talk about. All 7 of these Fs, if you do it right, bring you the biggest F, which is freedom. The freedom of living a debt-free life, or paying off that one credit card, or being able to go on that vacation, right, and having it paid for. The freedom of being able to do that is so beautiful. And I'm sure you guys know the hideous statistics of people in the United States of America. Like, we all live on credit, right? There are reasons why credit agencies are happy to call you and give you credit for no reason, because they make money off of you. So, I mean, it falls directly in line with your capitalist society. So it's amazing when even the littlest things, you guys, you've heard the saying, like, what you think about, you bring about, right? So if you can imagine these 7Fs and having them in front of you and having your big goals, even just having them in your sphere, being intentional with them, as Melody would say, it's amazing the things that the universe will just bring to you as you are putting in the work and effort towards your goals. And financial goals, there's nothing quite like it. Don't get me wrong. Maybe I'd love to lose 5 pounds, but saving that money for long-term healthcare insurance, I got to tell you, that's going to do it even more for me. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. So finances is also an F.
Yeah.
Katie, I have a question for you.
Give it to me.
Do you consider, like when you said debt-free, do you consider debt-free just credit cards and other debt, or do you like not even having a mortgage?
How would you like to live debt-free, Amy? Would you like to live debt-free with a mortgage, or would you like to live debt-free with just no credit card debt?
No, I think it's a misnomer, right? People are all the time talking about, well, I have no debt. And it's like, well, do you actually have a mortgage? Because if you have a mortgage, then you actually have debt. But I am like,
I agree with you. And I will also tell you that you can live without a mortgage also. And I know it's crazy because you're thinking, okay, well, you don't know how much I make and you don't know how I have to do this, but really and truly, it's possible on this program.
no, I am actually about to, because I'm about to put my house for sale in Phoenix. So then I, won't have a mortgage, because I, live in an RV. But I'm like, so the anxiety for me, like right now, that was my realtor actually just called me and I'm like, oh my God, like it's awful. Like, I don't know. It's exciting to not have any debt, but then it's awful at the same time. I don't know. It's stressful.
Being debt-free is stressful?
Well, the thought of selling a home to go debt free, yeah, and then you don't have a home. I don't know. It's stressful to me.
Well, so I think that, like, you guys currently live in an RV. My guess would be, and if not, then these would make really good goals. But my guess would be that you already know the outlay of expenses for living in an RV, like just what that looks like, right? So you already know whether or not you're going to be able to cover that per month. And therefore, if selling the house gives you the ability to pay off everything else and have no other debt, and you're only working with this, then any overage gets to go wherever you want it to from a savings perspective or a fund perspective, or, you know, depending on your situation. So I can understand why that would feel anxiety producing, because it's also a tradition. It's also a traditional thing that we grow up with, right? Like this is a regular thing. Like this is what we do. And I'm really excited to talk to you about it in a year.
Okay, well, we'll see.
No, and I'm with her. I mean, and there's a lot of different ways to think about it. So if you know, if you want to have like a one-to-one and talk about that, there's a lot of different ways to think about mortgage and how you can make mortgage an asset instead of a debt. But that's not what we're here talking today about. But the thing is, Katie's right. Like you can live without debt and without mortgage and without all of that. But it's just a matter of tweaking some things.
And without the stress of that.
Yeah, and eliminate the stress, but it's just a matter of tweaking things in life. So that's awesome. And you know what? Finance is a huge one for us. And you know, those are the things that get our blood pressures rolling. Those are the things that most couples fight about, right? Those are the things that even friends fight about. Which reminds me, we're on to the next F-bomb. Friends. Don't you? Everyone needs them out there. Okay, anyway, so friends are awesome. Okay. And when we're little, like it's easy to make a friend because you just go to the playground and be like, hey, girl, you want to slide? I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. You're my friend. So not so easy when you're an adult. But the point is that sometimes as an adult, we get so focused on finance and field that we forget about our friends, right? And there's got to be that healthy balance because friends should bring you joy in your life, which then leads me to the analogy that our wonderful gal Carrie Conley likes to create this analogy of a theater. So say you have a theater and you have like 5 to 10 seats in a row and you have about, 5 to 10 rows back. So it's a small theater, right? It's a small theater. And I want you to think about everybody who's in your immediate sphere, right? The people that you allow to speak into your life, the people that you go hang out with for a movie, go have dinner, go have coffee, just chat on the phone, like the people that are in your close network, the ones that you think about a lot and you want to hang out with a lot. I want you to kind of think about a rating system and not to be judgmental. We're not being judgy. I just want you to rate it based on your feeling of how you feel when you're around this person. So a 9-10 is awesome. These are the people that are speaking positive. They're their cheerleader. They're speaking some stuff in your life. What you think about, you bring about, but what you speak about, you bring about as well. So those people that are just always uplifting you, I want you to think about those people. I want you to sit them in the front row of your theater. Now, some people who are in your front row of your theater right now shouldn't be there. Those are the people that are the 1s or 2s or even the 4s or 5s and the ones that are most negative, right? The ones that their cup doesn't even have a place to get filled. It's got a hole in the cup, right? Those people, they should be in the balcony of your theater. But some of us leave them in the front row because of guilt, because of their family, because they've been friends for 50 years, right? Like that, it doesn't matter. Like what does it say to you? What does it speak to you? You need people in your life who are going to help you achieve goals and break through some barriers in your life. You don't need people to be the barrier, right? And so friends is a really important F-bomb in our life because sometimes we keep people around us because it's a habit, not because we actually like them, right? And so it is an extremely important aspect of your life because you need to always be surrounded. If you are going to attack those debt-free, if you're going to attack making $500K a year, then you can't be surrounded by people who are talking now. Oh, you can't do that. 500K, I haven't seen 500K in 20 years. You ain't gonna do it in a year. Like, I don't know why I just went in that kind of accent. But the point is, you have to surround yourself with some seriously great people. And I would even say the people in your front row should be mentor material. Like they should be people that you look up to. They should be people that you're like, oh, I could learn a thing or two. You know, these are the people that you want in your very first row, people that you would be honored to call friends. Those are the ones that you need to have in your front row. So that's what I have to say about friendships and friends and why they're so important in these 7 key areas of your life. Katie?
I love your personality. I just thought I'd include that. Interrupt you for a second.
Thanks, Fran. Oh my gosh. I love you too.
That's awesome. To Holly's point, you know, your hopes, dreams, wishes, all of your goals, those are precious, precious things. And not everybody needs to have access to them, right? So a front row is really important and brings us to our next F, which I think is our 4th, but I really only wanted to say that because it also starts with F. So family. I think that all of us absolutely have family goals, like if you thought about it, but we don't term it in, like, we don't think about it in terms of family, unless, you know, when we're looking to have a baby, that may be a goal, right? If we're looking to expand our family, if we're looking to get married. So the majority of our F's goals seem to me, like when I thought about it, they all happened when I was younger. And so I checked off the boxes and I accomplished them. I got married and, you know, now I take care of my parents. Like these are goals. But when I looked into it deeper, and if I wanted to generate even more meaningful relationships with the people that are my family, what would that look like? I was also fascinated by that. I was like, oh my gosh, when was the last time I had a family goal? I have no idea. So if I really wanted to accomplish something with my family or for my family, what would that look like? And it's amazing once you actually start thinking about it, right? Like, so if you guys all think about it, have you had a family goal lately? Right? It's crazy to think about. Well, now, Holly, you might be thinking, well, I need to get another horse. Now, see, I get that, right? So I'll be very clear. We are awaiting to grow our family. We want another dog. Please note, I did not say puppy. We want another dog, but we have a 20-year-old cat. And so she is not in a place where that is going to be amenable to her. So that's a family goal, but we have this precious, precious time. And if you guys have questions about why I'm talking to Holly about animals, get in touch with Holly. So, but family goals, it has been a really long time since I even thought of goals in terms of my family. And once I did, the flower that blossomed was beautiful and amazing and had so much potential for so many awesome, awesome things, which is another reason why I knew that this tool was for me from a holistic perspective. I'm all about a whole picture, and that was lovely for me. Are we talking about fur babies? Is that why you said yes, they are?
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Fur babies are family, and that's why I said yes, they are. Absolutely. And to that point, like a lot of times when we have a goal, sometimes our family, our immediate family is the ones we ditch first, right? We spend less.
I wouldn't say so. Can I look at, and here's me. I'm like, can we rephrase that? Can we just say take for granted first, right? Like we just take it for granted. We just assume, we just say absolutely. Like, I'm not going to ditch them, but I am going to put all the weight on them. I am going to be the rudest to them because they're the most likely to forgive me, like whatever all of that looks like, right? So I'll definitely say that before I had family goals, like poor Adam. It's why people call my husband a saint, right? Like he's a saint. He doesn't have to be a saint anymore. Well, one of my goals is that my husband doesn't have to be a saint. Like I'm much less likely to take him for granted now that I have family goals that say, don't take your husband for granted. I'm just joking.
And, and it's all about the balance, right? So for me, it was like, I was spending, I'd be in my office until 10 o'clock at night. And I did this for months on end. And finally it was like, my husband's like, all right, well, what are we doing? And I had to say, you know what? I will prolong the date of my goal because I want to spend my time with you. And so I gave up spending the time in the office at night and took my goal date and backed it up 2 months. And that's fine. You can do that because I wanted my soul to be fed and I wanted my family to feel important. And that was more important to me than reaching the goal 2 months earlier. So it's all about that balance. And that's really what we're looking at, right? It can never be a full balance. Let's just be clear on that. Nothing is going to be equal across the board, but you have to be attentive to all of these areas at some level. And at sometimes your family is going to have a lot of your attention, and sometimes your field is going to have a lot of attention. And that's pretty much how it's going to go with all your life. Mine next one. Fun. Yes, girl, fun. Okay, fun is important. And oh, yes, Rand, come on with your sugar right here. Because if you don't have that fun in your life, you're gonna get burnt out real quick, like real quick. And it doesn't have to be humongous. Like we're not having to go to Corpus Christi every other day, or we don't have to do a spa day every Tuesday. Like the point is,
But we could.
we could once we make our financial goals, for sure. But at this point in the game, fun could be anything. Fun could actually be calling, hey, a girlfriend, hey, and working on your friends. Because that's fun too, when you catch up with some friends. For me, I definitely dropped the ball on friends that I had from high school. I mean, we're still Facebook buddies, but Lord knows I'm one of them's getting a divorce and I didn't even know she was in trouble. Like seriously, like that, I dropped the ball. So now it's my turn to pick up a phone and be like, all right. And that's going to be fun for me just to catch up with people that I already know and love. So that could be fun, right? Fun also could be scouting out the adoption agencies for fur babies, right? That's what my husband and I are doing right now too, because we're looking for a little fur baby friend for ours, and somebody who, so that's fun for me to look at these. You should have seen this dog. He had a snaggletooth and his eyes were crossed. He's freaking hilarious. I love him to death. I want him so bad, but he doesn't do well with other dogs. But the point is, we're back to fun, right? It's fun to think about these things, right? So don't do anything that's going to suck the life out of you. Some people are sitting here going, oh, well, Facebook's fun. No, it's not, girl. Like, listen, it's not. You might think it is at one, like the first post that you look at, but then when you scroll, like there's a lot on you don't want to see. So find things again that bring you joy for the long haul, because if you have that little bit of joy in your life every single day, you're gonna ward off the burnout. Comments?
I consider fun the F that builds your positivity muscle the strongest. Like if you can, I mentioned I was a sales coach, right? So if you can imagine, a lot of my life is talking to my clients about selling. And I don't know if you guys know this, but sometimes it seems like it's a rare breed that people think that selling is fun. Odd when it comes to business owners, but true. And so my fun muscles are like, I have a 6-pack. I have a very maybe an 8-pack. I've been selling my whole life. I happen to think that things like that are fun. So I can literally find fun in breathing. And it is out of all of the F's, it is the one that can help you get out of bed and have a great attitude. If you just know that daily, there's going to be something fun, planned or unplanned, going on in your life. I love fun.
I do too.
Is that 6? Are we at 7?
You're the last. Call it in for us, baby.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the last F. Now, with this particular tool, one of the reasons that I fell in love with it is because you answer all these questions about your Fs, right? It's going to ask you like 10 questions about your Fs so that it can create a customized breakthrough experience for you. And so I'm filling out all my Fs and I'm getting this great score and all this stuff, and I'm feeling really good about myself. And then there was this last F and I was like, yeah, this last F. So this last F is fitness. Just to let you guys know, I used to be in like varsity tennis. I'm a very active human, but over the course of my adulthood, I have just been like, no, if I walk really fast in like stiletto heels to each meeting, that's also fitness, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, isn't that like a workout?
Yes, it could be. Absolutely.
What if they're platforms? Like, let's make the shoe the most complicated thing. And then if I'm walking, then I'm like working all my core muscles. And So that turned into me having no fitness routine whatsoever. So of course, the one thing this tool wanted to tell me is eat, your life is uber out of balance. You have a fitness concern. And I'm looking at it going, yeah, I knew that. Why are you telling me that? This is not on my goals. Well, hello. It should be, right? And so fitness in this tool is, of course, your nutrition, your health and well-being. This is your yoga practice, your meditation. All of these are going to be a part of fitness, right? For some, they're a little bit part of faith. For me, they're fitness. And it's been an amazing thing. So now I have a regular, I go to yoga. I go to yoga once a week. I know you think you think yoga is easy and stretching. I dare you, go. It's not so easy, especially when what you've been doing for your fitness is walking in stiletto heels, right? How flexible I am leaves a lot to be desired. Let's be clear. So it is amazing how good eat the simplest things, ladies, and all of you are probably like in it to win it. So you probably already hydrate as much as you need to. Oh, rowing. I have a row machine. Yes, girl, rowing is amazing, especially for those core muscles. And then those fun, like, I think they're called obliques, the fun ones on the sides. See, now that I'm into my fitness, I like know the names of muscles, especially the ones that I really just want to have be really toned for me for no reason whatsoever. But it's a lot. So now, of course, I find fitness to be fun, right? But it was really, really interesting that the first thing that this tool said was, hey, yo, Katie, you're lopsided, probably literally from the heels. You aren't paying enough attention to your fitness. And so this, of course, just made me pay attention to how much water I drink a day, which of course makes you feel better. Like all of those things. Do I pay attention to my sugar intake? No, I have no idea what calories are. I've never been on a diet. I don't read labels. I try to eat healthy. I like green leafy things. Like all of this stuff is fitness.
Mhm.
But I never really had goals for it. If it fell on the to-do list of I'll get to it when I can.
And
And now,
yeah, and I would say that this tool is your tool, right? So if fitness for you means that you're going to cut down on your sugary Starbucks every day and just have it once a week, then that's a fitness goal, y'all. That is a fitness goal. If it means that you're going to get down and just do, 10 sit-ups a day, perfect. We're not talking about having to go join a gym or buy a rowing machine or do anything like that,
I
because
got mine secondhand from a best friend who wanted it out of her house.
there you go. There you go. But the point is, like, this is what you want in your life. So you determine what is going to be your first little step, because all of these things that we're talking about today, the success comes from those tiny steps that we take every single day. And that's the magic of this tool. That is the absolute magic of this tool. Any comments on the Fs?
Does it feel like it's
takeaway? Like, is there a takeaway on any of this? We got chirps, got little crickets going on here. No chirps. Okay. Well, awesome. So
I don't hear any chirps. I think she just means you guys are being quiet.
really quiet, really quiet.
Yeah.
So I want to take the next 10 or 15 minutes and kind of show you what Katie and I are talking about and why we're so passionate about these 7 F-bombs, because it really will determine the trajectory of your life, right? It'll determine your happiness. It'll determine your confidence. It'll determine like a lot. I got to tell you, when I was introduced to this, I was not confident. Like, we had moved to Texas. Things were just kind of like, do what they do when you move, and everything is shifting and you got to figure things out. And all of a sudden I had something that I was able to kind of grasp onto, right? So I am super excited. I want to show you this. And we also have Holly, we have a few members who are already here with us. And Holly's been gracious enough to help us, and she's going to share something with us in just a few minutes. But I wanted to go ahead and share my screen and kind of show you what we're talking about and how this is helping everybody. So let me go ahead and just share my screen with y'all. Boop.
Nicely done.
You like that? Not my first day at the rodeo. Okay, so we are talking about this awesome tool called ULA. And I love ULA a lot. And there's a reason why I love ULA a lot. First off, it's derived from the expression ooh la. So these two guys literally were thinking about what to name their company, and they looked at each other and said, okay, what do you feel like when you wake up in the morning and everything in your life is going awesome? And they said, ooh la la, hey. And that's how they came up with ULA. True story. Not even kidding about that. So the purpose is to make the world better by providing this framework that we just talked about, the 7 F-bombs. I call it the F-bombs. Please don't put that on them, because if they hear about this, they might call me. So please don't do that. But
I don't know that they like it when we say we give all the F's either, but I like
I
it.
don't think they like
So,
it very much either.
Say it.
Katie and I were actually were super honored and privileged enough to go out to Vegas and meet these guys last month. So we were excited. They are amazing guys. The mission in life, though, is to change the world, change 1 billion lives in the next 7 years with this instrument. Okay. So here are the two founders, Dr. Dave Braun and Troy Omdahl. And before ULA, they were chiropractors. And they basically became really close friends. Dr. Troy was really advanced in his balance of life, and Dr. Dave was basically became his student. And through that, they created this movement. And with that movement, you see the bus there with the two guys on the right. They actually drove this bus across the United States. Okay. And they went even from school to school. They have so many amazing stories, but they would stop and they would ask people what their dreams were. And these little, if you look at the bus closely, there are stickers, and every sticker means someone hand wrote a dream of theirs and they put it on the bus. That bus is 27 layers deep of people's dreams. So you can imagine the energy that is surrounding that bus. Okay. Now these guys have sold books on this. So best-selling books, and they actually wrote the books and sold the books, and they had such success with the books. That's when they got the idea of driving this bus around the nation to really get on in deep with the community in which they wanted to serve, right? And so they love giving back. Of course, they give to needy children who need meals across America. And they are on a mission of just being grateful in life. The ULA lifestyle framework is a proven step. So you see her, look at, I want to teach English in Thailand. Now to us, maybe that's not our dream, but that's hers, right? And that's the point of this program. It is so personalized to you, right? It's on a platform, it's digital, you have an app, you have your dashboard, you have it all, and it's goal oriented, right? And it's at your own pace.
Okay, hold on. I gotta ask. I gotta stop right here. Really quick. Did anybody cringe when she said digital and online?
No.
I love that. Well, I asked because when I first heard about it, I'm like, are you kidding? I love my journals. I love writing. I don't want an app for that. And so I was a little resistant. So I love hearing that you guys aren't, because literally it is now like my whiteboard in my pocket, like my whiteboard that's like a vision board in my pocket.
Technology, whiteboard in my pocket.
Yeah, like I carry my vision like that. Remember, we all used to make vision boards. Like we cut out all of the sexy necklaces or the dream home or whatever it was, and it sat in the wall in our office, and we'd go buy it, or maybe we'd look at it once a month. Well, and now with the thing that happened in 2020, yes, exactly. Maybe we look at it a little bit more now that we're all at home. With that being said, I get to carry mine with me wherever I go, and it includes the things I got to do daily to get that dream home or that necklace or that, long-term healthcare insurance plan.
Right, exactly. So here's how it works. So you have an e-learning platform. So like I said, you do have access on your computer and you do have access on an app. And it helps you with all of it, right? you have a place where you can organize your goals, organize your mission and what you want out of life. And then you have a place where you can organize your action steps to take it right to the next level. You have a community. We have a Facebook group that you can join. We have master classes that are given. You have a lot. You have Inner Circle. I run an Inner Circle every single month, and I have members for the Inner Circle here. Holly is one of them. So, and like I said, she's gonna give us some of her thoughts and insights on this. So it's really a place where, yes, it is your own pace, but you also have the support of the people around you. Remember that theater? You want these kinds of people to be in your front row, right? And you also have accountability tools. So that's the app, and that's what we're gonna take a look at. So here is how it starts. Here's phase one. Phase one is you go online and you answer a bunch of questions and you get the outcome. And this is called an ULA wheel. Now you can see some of that wheel is healthy. There's no problems there, right? And you probably have fun and finance as your 100. That's awesome. Okay. And then you have some things that are a little bit needed, like maybe family is needed. So it basically, from what you've answered, it gives you an assessment of what you need to start paying more attention to. And through that, it'll suggest some things, some goals, some action steps that you need to take to build these things up. And so I love this. Okay. So once you have your ULA wheel and then you get your goals straight, you're on to the next thing. Okay, so you're doing your action steps every day, and then you hit phase two. And phase two is, you see that little computer screen. You see that there's an area to the top right of that little computer screen, and most of it is darkened out.
Here, Mel.
Yeah.
If you want to stop sharing your screen for a minute, I actually pulled mine up so they can actually see this.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so maybe it should be. Let's see if where it is. We'll find out. So what you guys are going to see, that picture that Melody just had up, I'm actually going to show you mine. So over on, let me know if you can see it. Thumbs up.
Yep.
Can you see it? Okay. So over on the right-hand side, these are your breakthrough experiences. Now, please note, I think I'd mentioned to you guys that like I was a little tipsy in my fitness scenario. So oddly, look at that. My very first one was, yo, Katie, here, let me remind you what fitness means. Maybe you could drink some water. So if you go into the breakthrough experience, Melody, let me know if it actually goes to the.
It does.
Okay, good. So this is actually what these are going to look like, you guys. They're super in depth, but my favorite part is they're easy and they're absorbable. This in and of itself, you're going to be like, oh, I've heard this before. And this is actually the place for me where the, oh, I've heard this before actually stuck. Right? So how this portion is built is based on an additional 15 questions that you answer. Like, how do you like to learn? How do you absorb information the best? These types of things that are just specific to you that help customize your program through the basic logic and AI that they use to put forward this breakthrough experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is it tracking? So nobody's program is going to look the same.
Right. And the great thing about this is it only takes you 5 to 10 minutes to get through that module. And then what I do is I print them out and I have them right here. And so if I need to look at them during that week to remind myself or read them again, it literally only takes me another 5 minutes to read them again. So they are fantastic. Let me go ahead and I'll continue on real quick. We're almost there. So that's the breakthrough experience. And that's a 12-week worth of classes. And then it reassesses and it gives you another 12 weeks. So it's pretty fantastic. Let me see, we can go there. All right, phase 3 is your personalized path. So again, you have master classes twice a month with Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy. They come on live. These are not recorded classes. You'll get your personalized content and it will evaluate and continually give you more and more classes that are more and more in depth with where you want to go. So that is basically the system. And then you have your companion app, right? That's the power. So here's on your phone, at your fingertips, what Katie was saying, you have this thing, and that's what it looks like. You have your action tracker right here. It'll say how many steps there. Katie's like showing her screen.
I lost my streak last night. Sorry. You will note that you really get attached to like actually doing your actions. And I totally am. And I lost my streak last night and I didn't even know it till just now. Sorry, please continue. I got to get back on the horse is what it says.
You do have to get back on the horse because I lost my streak last weekend because I did not stay on my fitness goal. I had some sugar and some carbs, and there went my streak.
I actually did them. I just fell asleep when my ULA alarm went off.
Telling you.
It's been busy.
Yeah. So listen, so this tracks it, and it also tracks not only your steps, but it'll track your community's steps as well. So for all of the community, we're at where is it? Oh my gosh. I can't even read that number. 118,171 action steps taken since July in the ULA system for our ULA community. So that is a lot of small steps towards a lot of awesome goals. And so you get that and you get to track your own progress. So how many days in a row can you actually get your streak going? So
Apparently 22.
apparently 22. And we already talked about all the F-bombs here. So Holly, if you wouldn't mind, would you like to share with us? Here, let me stop my, there you go. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Holly was actually like one of the first people that came on board with me with this tool. And I gotta tell you, she brought me, I'm kind of thinking about it right now. She brought me to tears last night when she Marco Polo'd me. And so Holly, go for it. And so I'm gonna stop talking because I'm gonna cry.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's funny because like in the beginning, I was just a little skeptical of, oh my gosh, another accountability app. Are you kidding me? How many of these things do I need? You know, was skeptical about it because it's like, you know, yeah, there's the whole thing of like writing it down. And if it's digital, well, am I going to forget about it kind of thing? So, you know, I watched the intro because Melody was very kind to send me, you know, the intro video and everything to it. And I looked at it and it's like, okay, you know, what do I have to lose? Try something different. And if I don't like it, I can always say, that's it, not doing it, and quit. So, you know, so I signed up for it and tried it, and I barreled through all the questions because it does take thought. I mean, you do need the thought to put into these. And then it's like, I get the ULA number. And then what I didn't expect was how tailored this program is for you. Like there were a couple of things that were coming up and in the videos of, you know, of Dr. Troy and I didn't know Dave was a doctor. I just knew them as Dr. Troy and Dave. You know, and there's some things that they say and I look at them and go, how did you know? Like, are you in my house? Like the hell. So, but it's one of those things where you look at it and go, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, and so you read that and you go through the things. And actually it's funny because in my last breakthrough thing was about fear. The class was about fear. And one of the fears that, because they talk about, okay, you know, bring it out, you face it, and then, you know, work through it. And one of the things was the fear of failing and having your parents basically say, sit there, see, told you so. And I looked at it and I highlighted it and I'm like, how are you in my head? Because that's absolutely true. So there are all these things and you stick with it and it's kind of fun because of how interactive it is. And so Melody has the program called Marco Polo, which is just, you know, this quick little, you know, video thing that we can video to each other back and forth. And incidentally, my version of fun is sending Melody a Marco Polo early in the morning because I know she's an hour behind and I'm an hour early. So if I'm at 7:30, I know she's at 6:30 and I'm sending her a Marco Polo going, well, I'm just getting ready to row, or I just rowed and I'm doing this, and have a great day, you know, because I think that's fun. That's a sarcastic side of me. But what I told Melody last night is that one of my bigger goals, and the thing I'd been having a problem with, was designing and doing a trifold brochure, because I've got people asking me for a trifold brochure, and I'm not a graphics designer, and I don't have the resources to hire a graphics designer to do this thing for me. So, and Melody had given some suggestions. There were other suggestions until finally another colleague pointed me to Canva, that Canva has a trifold thing. And so just threw stuff up there and basically made it happen. And so last night I Marco Polo'd Melody and I said, hey, we've just completed the trifold and it is in print now. And so now this thing that I've been stumbling over finally overcame, finally brought to completion, this trifold that, was finally, I kept pushing towards with the help of others, truly, and realizing that it really didn't cost that much money. It was less than $50 to do 100 of these brochures through Canva. And is it going to be the prettiest? No. But is it sweet? But is it sweet and simple to get the information out there for people who need it? Absolutely. So this is a big stick that I had been busting my head against the wall about, and this big thing happened. This big mofo happened. So yeah, and part of the reason why I was quiet earlier on with the F's is because if you let me go, I'm going to keep going. So I'm gonna stop.
I love it. I love that you just took the bulls by the horn and you really embraced the program. You were just like, hey, if I'm going to try it, I'm going to actually try it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the action steps every day. And I'm going to put stuff in there that scares me a little bit, but I'm going to do it anyway so that I can hit my 3 for the day and get my badges. I mean, they've gamified the app so you can receive badges. So I love that. Right. And Heidi's a member and she's doing awesome things. I can't wait for y'all next week for the inner circle. If you want to be a part of that, just let me know. But I mean, I think for us, like that's the major thing is you have a system that is 100% customizable to you. And yes, they do these videos, but you swear to God, they are talking to you because all of the modules are there. Katie, oh, what do you?
Oh, I was waving to Karen. She said she had to go.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
didn't wanna-
Well, I wanted to, let me just finish the share. We got two more things to get through and we are done because I don't want to keep you very, very long. So we have the master circles, we have the summits, we have Ulapalooza. So these are basically other huge events. Ulapalooza is coming up in January, I think. So if you want to know more about those, let us know. But basically it's a year-long system that gives you customized lessons along the year that you can totally go along with. And then I'm not going to go over this checklist because we are completely out of time. But basically, this is for people who are tired of being tired. They're feeling like, things have been like on the to-do list for way too long and you want to get them done. And you're exhausted and all of it. So this is what this is for you to get the things that you need accomplished. So here's the thing. We've all spent lots of money, some hundreds, some thousands for private coaching or for even those mastermind programs for like 6 months, right? We've all spent tons and tons of money. But the point is with this system, you literally, it's $77 to sign up. And you get $47 a month and you get all of it. You get the whole thing, the blueprint, the personalized path, the master classes, you feed one meal for a child each month. I mean, those are things that are super important to all of us. And it's month to month, y'all. It's not a contract. Like Holly said, what do you have to lose? Nothing. You sign up, you take it by the horns and you use it for what it's worth. And what is it going to hurt? Like, what if, right? What if you actually achieve the goals that you put yourself on the path for in January? And now it's going to be January soon again. You don't want that same damn goal on your to-do list. Let's get them done and let's get them done together. Questions? Yes. Oh, Amy had to go. Awesome. Katie, you have any last closing? Because we are at 12:01 and I wanted to get out of here at 12.
Right now they're charging.
I don't have any questions, but I do want to let you guys know if there's anybody who's interested. Yes, it's absolutely a month-to-month contract. I will say that. So when I got brought on board, when I was invited, they hadn't even gone live yet. So I got to participate in a little bit of beta, which is really, really fun. But now they've actually also included an annual subscription. The reason why I wanted to mention this is because if people like, I'm a big, please, can I just pay for a thing and be done with it? Like, I don't want to have to see this come out every month or whatever. So I love annual subscriptions. And of course, if you do it, they're going to incentivize you and give you a month for free. And then for anybody who is interested in also sharing this, that particular option happens to make it really easy to bundle it with any other offering that you have and things like that, which you can talk to Melody about. But that particular benefit that they've added is really fun and I like it. If I would have taken that, I would have chosen that option when I got started if it was there. So I love that they continue to invest time and money and energy into making this tool better.
Yes. So I think that will pretty much give us a go. I'll put my link in the chat. So if anybody needs to grab the link and look more into the system, it's right there. You can grab it, save it, and I will reach out to all of you later. We have Melissa here, who's also an ambassador out on the West Coast. So thanks for joining us. And Dea is over here as an ambassador too. So thank you so much. And then Holly, thank you for your
amazing testimonial.
test.
Oh, yay. I love that Dr. Dave is now back from his wedding in Croatia. So he's got all the time in the world to like things. These guys are great. I guess the last thing I would say is I hope that what we've been able to convey to you guys is the fact that your success really can be accelerated when it is a focused, intentional effort that we 100% hold ourselves accountable to. And like, I feel like I know y'all. I know that I mean, you guys know it's just true. Like, that's actually how it works. Nobody else can like do the work for us. We just actually have to do it. And so when we're focused on it, it's really crazy how fast that 211 steps I've taken, and I've accomplished 4 goals from my list so far this year since July 4th. So even if it's just that I'm now noticing these things, and that because we always used to just think in terms of like this one thing that I'm going to do, right? This one big, huge goal. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, look at, I'm awesome. Look at all the stuff I achieved. It feels great. Even if that's just what gets you out of bed in the morning, like, oh, I have stuff to do. It's an amazing feeling. So for those of you that are part of it, I love that for you, Holly. I loved your testimonial. Congratulations. Keep on, Ula on, girl. And for those of you who are interested, I hope you get in contact with Melody. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun together.
Awesome, you guys have an awesome week. We'll talk soon.
Bye, girl. Bye.
Girl, bye.